Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, I rise today in opposition of Senate Bill 916. This might surprise some of you in this chamber, as I have long been a champion of the work performed by our public employees and our classroom teachers. This will not be a surprise to the advocates or the carrier of this bill, as I have been very transparent on my position. Honesty is the only way we can move problems through to resolution. In my mind, to be a supporter of public employees and classroom teachers, it is also to support policies that ensure financial stability for our cities, counties, and schools, and that there has never been a time in recent memory that that stability is threatened to the extent we are experiencing today. Nearly each and every day since Donald Trump took office on January 20th, there has been a new pronouncement that puts into question the stability and the very survival of federal funds that are critical to Oregon and Oregonians. And the fact that 32% of our state budget, nearly 1/3, relies on federal funding. That includes nearly $1.5 billion in education funding. Included in these pronouncements is the firing of half of the U.S. Department of Education and eventually dismantling the entire agency, which will lead to more funding cuts and more pressure to put on the state to provide funding for much-needed services for students with disabilities and those from low-income families. The House Ways and Means Committee recently proposed cutting $12 billion of federal funding for school meal programs, which will allow high-poverty schools access to free and reduced meals for their students. The bottom line is that all across Oregon, including in my home of Washington County, where the county is forecasting a $20 million deficit this next fiscal year, counties, cities, and schools are scrambling to just maintain current services. Now is not the time to be adding more uncertainty and more expenses, which Senate Bill 916 would certainly do. Let me speak specifically to the impact this legislation would have on Oregon schools. There is a saying, education is not the filling of a bucket, rather it is the lighting of a fire. I take great pride in saying that I have devoted a great deal of my professional and public service career to doing all that I could to help those involved in lighting fires in the hearts and minds of Oregon students. For 27 years, I have had the privilege of working for an educational technology company that provides opportunities for STEM education locally, nationally, and internationally. And I was also honored to serve on the Hillsborough School Board for 8 years, and I continue to serve on the Career and College Pathways Steering Committee. And it gives me great pride to say that one of my sons is now lighting fires as a special education teacher, and my daughter-in-law as an elementary teacher. I have continued to support those that are lighting those fires. Oregon's classroom teachers during my service in the legislature, including proudly supporting the Student Success Act, career and technical education, and investment for education through the Oregon CHIPS Act. I believe that those bills and many more that had my support would help students find their career path. And if I believe that Senate Bill 916 would help Oregon classroom teachers in lighting fires in our students, then it would have my support. I believe, but rather than helping Oregon's schools and teachers, I believe Senate Bill 916 will have the opposite effect. As I said earlier, it is no secret that school districts across the state are facing severe budget challenges. Passage of this bill has the very real possibility of increasing those challenges. Proponents of Senate Bill 916 have tried to address my concerns, ensuring me that the past 25 years, less than 0.5% of negotiated contracts with school districts have led to strikes. If that is the case, then it seems to me that this bill is a solution looking for a problem. Instead, Senate Bill 916 has the very real possibility to create more problems than it solves for everyone involved in our public education system. U of O may have a strike on their horizon. At the same time, they face a declining enrollment, a $2 million deficit, and a Trump administration lawsuit on DEI. Let me be clear. What Providence Medical Center did and did not do during the most recent strike with Oregon Nurses Association should be condemned. They had access to dollars on day one and could have had a resolution, and it could not have damaged the relationships it did with those delays. They should be audited for their actions. Public employers do not have access to extra pots of money. It has to come from somewhere. And when the cuts run deep in our K-12 schools, that means less jobs and less classroom days. From the very beginning, I have focused on the public employees aspect of Senate Bill 916. And when I heard that our system would match that of New York, I found that I simply had to say that was not true. In New York, as we have heard, public employees are forbidden to strike at all. That was a bill that passed in 1967 called the Taylor Law. Colleagues, Senate Bill 916 makes us the first in the nation with such a law, and in the most tumultuous of times. In a time of federal uncertainty, revenue shortfalls, and risky budget setting, we should be linking arms to focus on solutions for stability and growing our economy and truly lifting all Oregonians. I fear Senate Bill 916 is not the answer, especially in these times. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Weber was